And immediately I have to cough. Yeah, I have something to say about our music. Story coming. Dancing much tonight.
I honestly don't have much dancing energy in me right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 65 of the Gene Pool Variety Hour. My name is Sean. I'm the old guy of the group. I am the dad, and the guy on the other screen is...
Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy QuillMiester, aka Connor McKay, aka the Big Lebowski. I don't know why I said that last part. I'm just shooting from the hip. I am not the Big Lebowski.
We got the big part. And you got the Owski part. I don't know. Well, although I think you have a story that should be quite interesting for everybody here tonight from the other night. So.
The other night.
Yeah. So we'll have to get in that. It was the big something. But anyway.
It was the big something.
So anyway, we just like to hang out, and we review random movies that we pick, and we do geek questions that we debate about, and we talk about nerd stuff and chase a lot of chickens.
Sometimes eat breadsticks.
Chase a lot of chickens and just kind of go from there. So we really just kind of ramble a good bit, and if you're hanging out with us, thanks, and we appreciate it. So we always start the podcast with things that have been going on with us since the last time, which is about a week ago. So what's been going on with you since the last time?
So one big announcement. In the past few months, me and Nikki and my family have all been talking about wanting to go down there and visit you guys for Christmas.
Yep.
And
that's the plan.
And recently, Nikki got her confirmed schedule for December, and we found a good time frame for it. And just yesterday, I turned in my vacation request form on Monday, and today, the supervisor kind of looks over all that stuff. He told me it is confirmed that I do have all that time off with no penalty whatsoever.
Good. All right, awesome.
So and Nikki also got her confirmation, so it is dead set.
Good.
So,
we'll see you guys in December then.
16th.
Well, you ain't gotta tell. You don't have to announce to the entire world what your travel plans are. That's kind of a security risk. You don't mention the dates that you're not going to be at home. It's just kind of a security thing. So
okay, sorry.
I'm going on vacation sometime in December. Good enough.
Yeah, sometime in December. Yep. And then
okay, what else is going on?
The other night, I got to do something really funny for my fiance.
Y'all need to get ready for this. Are you ready for this? Okay, go ahead.
Y'all ready for this? Anyway, so
I wish I could carry it.
So
okay, that was good.
So anyway, on Wednesday, Nikki had been having a really kind of tough day at work. So I decided when I got home.
She had a rough day at work, and you did what you were about to say you did because she had a rough day at work. That didn't make it worse.
No. Oh, okay.
Go.
Screw
tell
you, big boy.
Tell your story.
So I knew just the thing that will put a smile on her face and make her just laugh and cheer up for her nice big long weekend.
Okay, go.
So when I got home, first I picked out a pair of ratty gym shorts and an old t-shirt. Then I kind of pre-cut them a little bit. And then I took a pair of boxers and got some nice sparkly blue paint and painted "Property of Nick's" right across the butt.
Okay.
And then when she came home, I I had our Bluetooth speaker all set up, and when she walked in the door, I'm sexy and I know it started playing. I came out mouthing to the song, ripped off the shirt, ripped off the shorts, and turned around and started dancing and shaking my butt. But she narrowly passed out on the floor laughing as with the door still open.
Wow, that is quite quite the image, man.
Oh yeah, just look, picture all this jiggling and bouncing.
And listen, and when
liked it.
When I told your mom that, she's like, that's just Connor. Connor just has no shame, and he's just so fun. And I am such the introvert with that kind of stuff. You would never catch me doing that. I would have to have so many drinks in me to be loose enough to do that. Something like that. Anyway, so yeah. My hat's off to you, man. If you're able to do that and pull that off, that's fantastic. Because look, if you can make your significant other laugh, and you're a source of levity and humor and fun in their lives, man, that goes a long way. So that's cool. But I'd have never done it. Ever done that.
That's because you don't have a single whimsical bone in your body.
Oh, I do.
Oh, really?
But within certain boundaries. And guys, I'm sorry about the little nagging cough that keeps popping in. It's that lingering respiratory stuff from COVID 3 weeks ago. So it just will not go away.
Dad.
Sorry.
Whimsy has no boundaries. So saying you're whimsical within boundaries is like saying you're creative in this one aspect of your life.
But for an introvert to be whimsical at all is saying something.
I am an introvert.
No, really? No, you're one of the most extroverted people I know.
I am an extrovert when I know I'll have at least one in common subject with someone else. Otherwise, I'm dead ass silent.
Sure, and I'm kind of the same way. But even then, I tend to be quiet. Like when I'm playing games with buddies, or I'm hanging out and talking with other people, like at DragonCon or whatever, and I'm talking to a bunch of other people that have the same interests as I do, I still have a hard time interjecting, not because I don't want to, but it's like I don't want to interrupt other people, and I don't want to seem rude, and so I can never find a way to get a word in edgewise, and so I end up being one of the quietest guys there, But it's just my style. But anyway, so anything else going on? Any fun stuff? Any interesting stuff? Anything like that?
I've really gotten into binge watching the True TV show Impractical Jokers.
Yeah. Okay.
That show has always made me laugh. Ever since I first saw it, I die laughing every single episode, no matter what is going on. I mean, you know the preference of the show, right? You know what it's about, right?
Impractical Jokers? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing pranks on people all the time. Yeah.
They don't play pranks on people. What are you talking about?
I mean, sorry, they don't play pranks on people. They kind of do pranks on each other in front of people, and kind of they do that kind of stuff. They basically
They do challenges. His of basically improvisational stuff of embarrassing the others and just basically trying to get them to slip up, and then whoever loses the most at the end of the episode gets a punishment.
And for an introvert, for a true introvert, that's painful to watch for me. It really is. I mean, sometimes it's funny, but then sometimes they get past a line, and I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable watching this because I'm embarrassed for all the people involved, and kind of putting myself in that situation that I don't watch. I don't watch it that much because of that. It just makes me uncomfortable because as an introvert, one of your biggest fears, one of the things that you hate the absolute most, is being embarrassed in public, being called out or corrected in public in front of people. Can't stand it, would rather crawl up under a rock. So Impractical Jokers is sometimes uncomfortable for me to watch because of those things. Even though I know it's funny and it's all in good fun and all that kind of stuff, and they're all in it together. So even though they're making each other look stupid and they're making fun of each other, it's all in agreement with each other. It's consensual, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
It still makes me uncomfortable. So anyway. So that's probably where you got the idea for your dancing and striptease thing, to kind of pull.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
very most likely.
Okay, so what about the video game stuff? Any what you been doing there?
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon recently.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
mainly,
on the Switch,
yeah,
on what on what on your phone or
on the Switch. I don't have Pokemon on my phone anymore, and I traded in my DS and all those games.
yeah. So which Pokemon game is it on the Switch? Because I don't have a Switch and I don't play Pokemon. So which one is it?
Sword and Shield.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is that a new one or is that like a remake of one or? I don't know.
It's
I'm not a Pokemon guy.
it's the most recent release.
Okay, that'd be like me making fun of you because you don't know anything about Ghost Recon. Right? I mean,
That's true.
so that's not fair.
Anyway, it's the most recent Pokemon Journey game. However, in just over a month, they're releasing a remake of mine and Nikki's favorite
Yeah.
Pokemon game, Pokemon Pearl and Pokemon Diamond.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you with those when you were growing up. So,
Oh yeah.
what do you mean by
even Luke played those?
Right. What do you mean by Pokemon Journey game? Just like your regular Pokemon games where you go through kind of role playing ish kind of stuff, or what? What
Yeah.
do you mean by Pokemon Journey?
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo, Game Freak, and the general Pokemon Company have tried a different bunch of style of games. You know,
Okay.
there were the mystery dungeon games where where basically you woke up as a Pokemon in this world, and you played these teams to go into these dungeons, befriend other Pokemon, and play through a story.
Right.
There were also the Pokemon Ranger games, which the Pokemon Ranger was a style of player released in the Hoenn region. And essentially, they're kind of like world forest park rangers, you know. And instead of capturing Pokemon with a Pokeball, they use this thing called. You got me started on Pokemon. This is on you.
You're right, but we're going on a super deep dive, so I thought that was worthy of a chicken. I did just that's all. Did I interrupt you? You're the one that stopped talking. Okay, all I did was hit the button.
Anyway, the Pokemon Rangers essentially, they use this thing called a disc and stylus to temporarily tame and befriend a Pokemon and use them to perform rescue tasks like putting out fires, clearing out a landslide, stopping a flood, stuff like that. And they basically go in and rescue wild Pokemon, environments, and people caught in those situations. You know.
Right. I'm just waiting with bated breath for the next game type.
Hey, Kurt. Actually, besides all the other subtypes of just like one-off things, those were the only three main types of games growing up.
Okay, cool. Cool. So Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in January.
Yes.
What's
coming in January?
Pokemon will release their very first full-on open world, open concept RPG game called Pokemon Legends of Arceus.
Nice.
So
okay.
so like imagine Skyrim, but with Pokemon. That's essentially what it's going to be like.
That makes me shudder.
Why?
That gives me nightmares to be playing Skyrim and all of a sudden a Pikachu pops up. No. Leave my Skyrim alone.
No,
leave my Elder Scrolls.
Do not put are the same.
Do not put a one of those in there.
Open world exploration, crafting.
Yes, I know.
A more open form of combat, battling,
right.
And capturing Pokemon. You know, it's just a more open, sort of actual RPG type feel.
Yeah. So,
and me and Nikki are both excited for that. And I kind of as soon as the release dates were made public, I pre-ordered them 6 months ago.
Right. Oh, by the way, I
had to.
I completely forgot to send out all my notifications. So you keep talking. I'm gonna do that right quick. So all I gotta do is hit enter. So has there been anything else going on? Any other games or anything like that?
No, not really. Other games I've been playing. Me and a couple of my friends in my D&D group have started a Nuzlocke challenge.
A what?
It's it's a style of gameplay when playing a Pokemon Journey type game.
Yeah.
It gives you specific rules to follow while playing the story of the game. For example,
Gotcha.
When you're traveling, you have to catch the first Pokemon you find on each route and each named area you find.
Yeah.
And you can only catch that one Pokemon on for that route. Everything else you need to either run from or get or kill for XP.
Yeah.
And then two,
are there chicken Pokemon?
Huh?
Are there chicken Pokemon?
Torchic, Combuskin, and Blaziken are based on chickens. Yes.
Just thought I would tie the two together at least.
I believe those are the only chicken-based Pokemon. Okay. On them, there are a bunch of other birds though. Let's see. The second rule is if any of your Pokemon faint or die while in battle, well, they are considered completely dead, and they need to be either released or put in the box permanently, and you can never use those Pokemon again. You
need to be a guest on the Pokedexpert with like Mike and Phil or something, man. Just because
that's a thing.
Yeah, they have a whole podcast called the Pokedexpert. Yes. Duh.
And, connect me to them after this podcast.
Well,
connect me to them right now. Connect me to them.
Slow your roll. Phil. Okay. Anyway.
So,
moving on from Pokemon.
No, there's one more rule.
Son of a buck. Okay, go.
You got me started on this stuff. I have to finish, or else it's gonna nag in the back of my brain. You're the exact same way, and you know.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
Hey,
okay.
Pokemon is fun. You played Pokemon Go for a while.
Yes, I get that. Okay, go. This is
anyway.
Apparently, we have a new Pokemon segment of the podcast.
That's just this episode because you got me started on it. Anyway, the third rule of playing a Pokemon Nuzlocke is that you need.
It is my fault, Kurt.
Exactly.
I know it's absolutely my fault. I take full. I helped give birth to this guy, so it's absolutely my fault. Absolutely.
May I finish?
Yes, now you can finish.
Okay. The third rule of playing a Pokemon Nuzlocke is that every single Pokemon you catch has to be nicknamed to quote unquote increase affection and connection to it.
Gotcha.
And that is all I'm going to say about Pokemon. Unless you bring it up again, then I'll go on to a whole other tangent.
Oh, no. Not tonight. Nope. So, okay. I think that's plenty about what you've been going up to. So, look, as far as...
Actually, I do have one more thing. It's not Pokemon related, I promise.
Go ahead.
It's not Pokemon related, I promise. I have decided for the month of October, at least, I'm going to take a break from being a DM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Recently when I got some players in, some new players in, a couple one of them left because he said he didn't like the way I DM'd, and then another one completely ghosted me and never even responded to my messages, to mentions to messages in the server, and then just looking back on it, I realized that a bunch of my DM style is just completely improv and just from the hip, and I need to better organize things instead of just basically making it up as I go, because then I make a lot of mistakes. I backtrack, I then push forward and backtrack again. So for the month of October, at least, I'm going to take a break from it, and I'm going to basically organize my notes, organize my campaign, and get stuff completely ready.
Yeah. And right. And so, I mean, it happens. And that's one of the reasons why when I play D&D, I don't want to be a DM, because you and I are kind of the same. Our brains are kind of scattered. That's why we have a chicken for a mascot. So, yes, there's two different kind of styles of being a DM. There's the rule follower, rolling the dice, statistics, all that kind of stuff, rigidly kind of following all the rules of the monster manuals and the player's handbook and all that stuff. And then there's the more general, laid back storytelling kind, right? Which of course you and I are kind of more. I mean, I kind of do a little bit of the rule stuff, but it's because I'm not as creative as you. If I was as creative as you, then I would be much more the storytelling kind of person. But even in the storytelling part, you kind of need to have a good understanding and framework of all those rules and stuff in your head so you can roll with them and not have to backtrack and that. So, I mean, I think it's great that you're just going to take a break and kind of take a step back, reset, and jump back into it, you know? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, dude, being a DM is hard work. That's why I don't do it. Just give me one character to play and role play that character, not have to manage all the characters in the party in my head and all the rules of all the monsters and the storyline. That's too much for me, man. I can't do it. So it's good on you that you've done it as long as you have. But yeah, sometimes you just need to take a step back, catch your breath, and circle the wagons and jump back in. So
yeah,
that's not bad.
I get it.
It's not a bad idea. So cool. From my end, you know, something came up last week. I didn't want to talk about last week because we had Dennis on, and I wanted to devote all of our time to Dennis and his Kickstarter and Lycan coming out soon, which is fantastic. And oh, by the way, your donation right at the end of the stream, right as we were done streaming, your donation helped them meet the second stretch goal. Exactly. So that was kind of cool. So I don't know that Dennis made the third stretch goal, but I know he made the second one. So anyway, but
I get a hat.
Yeah. So, I got a rock. But anyway, sorry. That's just there's a chick. That's my fault. That's the chicken.
What was that?
It's from Charlie Brown. When people, you know, when they went trick or treating and everybody got candy and this kind of stuff, and Charlie Brown says, "I got a rock." I think it's Halloween. It's not that. It's not the Christmas thing. I think it's Halloween. Yeah. So
I've never seen
the
Charlie
Great Pumpkin.
Brown.
Yeah, you go. I thought it was the Halloween one. So.
I've never seen Charlie Brown.
See, they used to show it on TV every year, all the time. Like they used to show Wizard of Oz every year, all the time. And they just don't do that stuff anymore. So even when you were growing up, they just didn't show those anymore. So unless you went and rented them or bought the VHS or the DVD.
Wait. The Christmas one, it had that weird little messed up tree.
Yes, because we have one
with one ball on it, right?
Yeah, because we have one here at the house.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that.
But the Halloween one is the great.
Yeah, I've never seen the Halloween one. I've never seen any of them.
So, but anyway, so last year, and many of you guys know that we kind of hang out with another podcast, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, and they kind of got their whole community called the Legion of Dorks, and they started a few years ago, I think 3 years ago now. Like getting people to write short stories on a specific kind of theme, and then they took some of those and made like an anthology of short stories, and they would sell it on Amazon for charity. Am I
hearing good news or bad news?
Well, you know about this already. But so 2 years ago, you know, we kind of got in with the group a little late in the game to have time to write something. But this year I knew about it, so I wrote one for this year's anthology called Misspelled, and it got accepted, so it's getting published. It's coming out on November 9th or November 11th. I can't remember which date. Yeah, and just in about a month. I think it's November 9th. And nicely played. And then another
I did away from the mic at least.
So the theme this year is called Misspelled. That's the title of the anthology, and it's basically the theme is basically.
I thought that was the title of your story.
No, that's the title of the anthology.
What's the title of your story then?
Can I say it now? Can I finish?
Okay.
So the theme is basically short stories about magic gone awry, you know, and mine is called Hidden Magic. Okay, and that's all I'll say. Because, you know, I want people to discover the story as it goes. So, it's coming out November 9th. I'll have more information about how you can get a copy and how you can donate and all that kind of stuff. The charity is Toys for Tots, I believe. So, we'll go from there. I'll let you guys know more about that as we go. Speaking of charities, that same week, November 11th, is Veterans Day. And last year for Veterans Day, I did my first I refuse to say first annual because it's a pet peeve of mine when people say first annual. It can't be first annual if it's the first time. Annual means every year. It was the inaugural charity stream for the Gene Pool. And my charity, because I work for the military and mental health, my charity is 22 Kill, which is a charity working with active duty members and veterans to kind of help prevent suicide, education about suicide, to try to help that, because current statistics are about 22 active duty or veterans of the military commit suicide every day. That's why the number is 22, because 22 per day. So, November 11th, Veterans Day, it's a federal holiday. I'm off work anyway. I'll be streaming all day. I think last year I literally streamed, 13 hours straight of a bunch of different stuff. So, if you guys want to come watch, please do. Again, it'll be November 11th. I'll probably start at like 8 o'clock in the morning and probably go till 9 o'clock at night. I stream exclusively Xbox games. And I do the Game Pass
Jason,
things.
Is that you? Hawks. Hawks. Is that you, Jason? I feel like that's you.
So
sorry, Dad.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So if you guys are on Xbox and you guys do Game Pass, look at the Game Pass stuff. Let me know ahead of time the kind of games you guys would like me to play. Because last year I just kind of picked it myself. Some went off really great and some didn't. So if there are games that you guys would like to watch me play all day, sitting here with lots and lots of coffee, then do that, and we'll go from there. So starting next week, I'll start pushing it more. I'll put a little graphic here on our stream and start pushing that, because I think I raised about between $500 and $600 last year, which was pretty cool.
Dang.
Which is pretty cool for your first time ever streaming, and it was just me. It wasn't like a group of us doing it. It was just me on by my lonesome.
Dang, Dad. That's impressive.
So I'm going to try to push it a little bit more significantly this year and see if I can get more buy-in with it. So those are the things that are kind of coming up for me. If Human Fall Flat is on there, and I think it is, I'll try. Because what I like to do, now last year, the new expansion for Destiny had literally just come out that week. So the first 2 hours of the stream...
Stasis?
Yeah, the stasis stuff. The first 2 hours of the stream and the last 2 hours of the stream were all Destiny because I wanted to play. But what I like to do is I like to pick games that I've never played before and just start from the beginning and play them, because then I look really stupid when I'm playing stuff. Like last year I was playing one called Hello Neighbor, where you're a little kid trying to get into this man's house and you think he's a serial killer. And he's always if he sees you, he chases you. And we were all jump scared. I mean, it's like cartoon graphics, but we're all like tense and jump scaring the whole time. I mean, even in the chat, people were screaming. So, so doing that kind of stuff is fun. I like playing games like that instead of just ones where I'm just kind of sitting there. Although I was playing Doom last year, and I'm like killing all these demons and kind of going crazy with this fast-paced shooter. And Ash was like, "Geez, man, I didn't know you played games like that. You're kind of disturbing." So anyway, so that's what's been going on. That's a recent development that I had.
Jurassic Park Evolution for that.
That's just like a slow building. No, I don't want to do that. That's like Zoo Tycoon for dinosaurs, and that's like really slow and boring to me. No, not interested. So sorry.
How
sorry,
about
Aspie Boy? I'm not interested in dinosaurs.
That's on Game Pass now.
What is?
Sunset Overdrive.
I know, but I played that, and I didn't really like it.
You barely played it.
No, I got about. I mean, once it got to where I got
you play like an hour of it, and that's it.
And I didn't like it, so I didn't play it. It kind of just didn't grab me. I know you did. You played it multiple times. So that's what's been going on with me lately. That's the stuff that's upcoming with me, so I can't wait to do that stuff. And plus, it's an excuse for me to sit in front of my screen and play video games for 13 straight hours and say that I'm doing, and it's I get to do something fun and make some money for a charity. So anyway, that's all that's going on with us. We've wasted half an hour just talking about that stuff. We still have a question and a movie to do. So I think it's time to jump into our geek question, don't you?
One quick thing.
Yes. What one quick thing? Is there going to be a quick thing?
Yes.
Okay.
In 372 days, I will be married.
Nice. Have you got like? Are you like marking them off on your wall with like a marker or scratching?
I want to, yeah,
scratching
I
something
want
in your
to.
wall like a prison or something.
I was gonna do it on my little board thing that I
Oh,
got back here. I was
okay.
gonna do just like a little countdown thing.
Okay, so well, that's cool. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
you can give us an update every week.
Mm-hmm.
So next week
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
be 365. Next week it'll be 365 days.
Exactly.
There you go. Exactly a year. That's
Exactly
kind
a
of
year. That's
wild. I'll have one of my kids married off. That's awesome. So okay, this time let's do the geek question.
let's do the geek question.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions, and I want them answered immediately.
Okay. Folks, just deal with it. I've given up trying to get him to stop. He's gonna do it.
Why do you hate that I do that?
Because I like to let Arnold have his time in the sun. You know, he hadn't been acting
He
lately.
had his.
He doesn't have a lot of
his
work.
time in the sun.
I mean, you know, he's had the whole
he was
acting
the
thing,
Terminator.
the bodybuilding.
He was the governor, for God's sake.
I know, but now he's not doing anything. He's just kind of sitting around doing, you know, so he needs his
Because
time.
he's enjoying his golden years.
They are golden years. That's true. So okay, so what's our geek question? Because I don't even remember
All
what you told me it was going to be. So I'm clueless. This is going to be interesting.
All right.
What's the question?
All right. The geek question is: if you died and became reincarnated into a fantasy style world, swords, magic, monsters, adventure, all that, and you had all your memories and knowledge of from your previous life, what would become your main goal in this world and why?
What? How can you answer that question? That is such a wide open question that there's so many
Exactly. It's wide open, so therefore it's open to so much interpretation and creation.
There's so many variables there that are unaccounted for.
That's exactly why I worded it this way, because
Whatever.
because the variables to each of us is what make the question and the answer is unique. Because Dad, let's be honest, you and I think a lot alike, do we not?
Mm-hmm.
So if we ask a very boxy question, we 9 times out of 10 would give the exact same answer, and that's not fun.
All right. Okay.
So if we create a question with more variety and a more open feel, it would create a much more open and varied answers between us, and would be more fun to discuss.
Right. Okay. Well, whatever, dude. So what's your answer then? Because I got to think. Because I got no clue.
So one thing that for as long as I can remember, at least for the first, well, let's see, for the first 10 years of my life, I hated reading. Right.
Okay. By the way, guys, if y'all want to chime in the chat and kind of give us your answers too, feel free.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So anyway, go ahead. All right. So you hated reading until like, I don't know, what was it, 5th grade, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I loved reading, I loved researching, and I loved learning in general, of finding out history, myths, origins. I loved doing that. You remember growing up, I used to check out actual books and graphic novels on mythology and such, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's why you kind of went nuts when you were listening to Dennis talk about, you know, Lycan coming up, because of all the mythology that's in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
So the thing I would do, and my overall goal, it wouldn't be to become this great hero. It wouldn't be to become a valiant adventurer, to go out and save the damsel. Essentially, it would be to just learn of the land I'm in, and learn of its history, of its magics, of its people, and just essentially learn how to help. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know me, I will always put other people before my own needs, and if I have the ability to learn how to help people, I will do it 100% of the time. You've seen it.
Yeah, true. Okay.
And so I believe first I would research the actual history of the land and of the world, and go through that, and then most likely after I studied that for a good while and made notes and of troubled locations, of important locations and moments in history, I would then go into researching the hierarchy in and the government structures, just trying to figure out exactly how these people live, how they govern themselves, and how they deal with problems. And then after that, I would most likely go into mythology and origins, because if you learn that stuff, a lot of times you can then also learn what influenced some of the governing laws, some of the people's traditions, if you know their mythologies.
Right.
I would then go into that most likely.
Okay, so
Dude,
absolutely. Oh god, Time Bandits. Oh my gosh, one of
that
my
movie
favorite...
still gives me the creeps.
Oh,
it
please,
still gives me the
it's
creeps.
one of the best movies ever. What are you talking about?
It's you do realize
Mom, Dad, don't touch it. It's concentrated evil.
That's why I hate that movie, because he basically loses his family, and in the last few minutes of the movie is him.
But he gained Sean Connery as a dad, and his parents were horrible. But he gained Sean Connery as a dad.
But still though, that movie
stinking love that movie.
It creeps me out even more than Beetlejuice does.
Okay, so
anyway,
basically, you'd be like an academic. You would just kind of be a student of their world.
But then eventually I would so learn magic.
But what if it's not a magical land? What if there's not actual magic? I mean, there may be like fantastical creatures like dragons.
In my version of this world, well, there's magic.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not a specific fantasy world. Hold on, I'm talking about. It's just a fantasy type world in general, which means it could be my own version, it could be your own version, and it can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that it?
I mean, most likely after I do world learning, I would then go out and procure research projects, like such as possibly learning about the agriculture and finding out what crops could be better used and grown for trading use and an overall profit, and then most likely after that I would go into animal research and find out what livestock they have and learn if they're different from Earth livestock and how they influence the people.
Too much work, man. You're actually working.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm sitting here thinking, okay, look. So, say that I went into some fantastical. They may have fantastical creatures. I don't know about magic. I mean, yeah, if they had magic, I'd like to learn the magic, but I guess I'm kind of thinking is a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court. I think that's what it's called.
What?
I think that's. I'm not great on my literature, but I think it's a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court.
Connecticut Yankee?
I think so. Yeah, I think I could be wrong. Look it up. But
I've never heard that term.
But I kind of say I'm coming from this world, right? With my understanding that I have of science and technology and those kind of things. And I go to a world that may have some magical kind of stuff going on, but doesn't have much in the way of technology or that kind of stuff. And I just use some basic knowledge of science to do some things, and they think it's magic. And then I become like really important because they think I'm a big wizard when I basically just use my knowledge from my current technological world and do that so that they kind of like put me up on a pedestal and give me lots of stuff and give me a tower to live in, and then I just kind of go from there. I kind of go for the easy life.
I have a question.
And if I can be Captain Jack Sparrow or the guy from the Bollywood movie, I can't remember his Avane Srinrana, whatever his name was.
Avane Sharmania.
Okay, no, that's not right, but close enough.
Avane
Srimana Rihanna. That was it. Srimana
Rihanna. Okay.
So if I could be them, where I can kind of look kind of stupid but be smart, and trick everybody through my knowledge, because they're not technologically or scientifically advanced enough to understand what I'm saying, I would take the shortcut and do that. I'm really literally riffing off the top of my head because first of all, I completely forgot what the question was. Go figure. So I literally did not think of it at all till you asked.
Anyway, I have a question for you.
And I guess I don't want. Yeah, let me finish, and then you can ask your question. I guess the idea of, okay, let me start at the bottom and just sit in a library and study forever of everything about their geography and their history and their politics and their bores the crap out of me. Sorry. I mean, if I wanted to do that, I would play that kind of a character in Skyrim. I don't play that kind of character in Skyrim because that bores me.
It's impossible to play that kind of character in Skyrim anyway.
I'm just saying, if I like that kind of character, I would try to play those kind of storylines. I don't like those kind of storylines. That's kind of boring. So I would try to make it more fun and basically make them think I'm smarter than I am, and I'm almost wizard-like just because I have some knowledge that their science hasn't figured out yet. That's probably what I would do. So what's your question?
Anyway, what knowledge are you talking about?
I don't know.
Do you know? What?
Like I said,
what knowledge do you have? Do you think could be translated into creation of some kind of technology in that world?
Well, you didn't give me I don't know yet because again, I completely forgot the question until you asked. So I'm riffing off the top of my head. Again, riffing off the top of my head. So, again, and also there's no boundaries on this question. So I don't know if we're talking about a land that has some fantastical creatures and there might be some kind of magic, but they don't know how to harness it. So they're kind of primitive. So a wheel could be considered magic. A water wheel for a windmill to create energy and to create power. Those kind of things.
Do you know how to create a windmill, a water wheel, or how to convert or that motion into actual energy? And
I don't mean like electricity, dude. I don't mean like electricity and batteries and stuff. I just mean like using it to power things, like using the power of the water in a water wheel to power a mill to grind stuff, whatever.
And do you know how to
try
do
to
that?
automate it's pretty basic engineering. That's pretty basic engineering. I'm not talking about like.
And you get that? And
kinda,
basic engineering?
I mean, I could build something like that. Yeah. So. I'm sorry, I didn't remember the question. And stop with your glasses, your eyes over your glasses. Look at me, you moron. Stop it. So
hey, I make this look good, and you know it.
Okay, all right, whatever, dude.
Nikki loves this look.
So, okay, well, I'm not Nikki. I'm your dad. That's kind of creepy. So stop. But, I love the idea, like Kurt was talking about, of the time bandits and being able to go back and forth in time. And, if I could do something like that and bring back some technology with me, that would be cool. And I'm not even talking about, like, bringing computers with me, because there's no...
That would be breaking the laws of time travel, influencing past events.
Who said there was no boundaries in this question? Huh? Who said there's no boundaries in this question?
We're not talking about reincarnation into a fantasy world. We're now talking about the general rules of time travel.
Yeah, okay.
You don't screw with the past because if in the past messes up the future.
I don't care.
You
screw the timeline.
You have a cell phone in Nazi Germany, and then 40 years later, we're somewhere in the Fifth Reich.
Okay, listen, I could care less about Flashpoint. Screw the timeline. Okay, if it's going to give me power and make my life easier, heck yeah, I'm going to do it. Sorry, call me crazy, but that's just what I would do. And you're the one that said there was no boundaries on this question. It could kind of go anywhere.
Again, was about that. Oh my god.
Oh.
We're talking about time travel now.
So there's no boundaries.
That's different from the question. That's different from the question.
So there's no boundaries to the question until there's a boundary to the question because you don't like the boundary that I violated.
Again, we're not talking about the question. We're talking about the general rules of time travel.
I see.
That's not the question.
The question is
that's time travel. That's a totally different subject.
But I'm not talking about time travel. If I died, if I was brought back into an alternate reality that was magical and this kind of stuff, doesn't mean that I don't bring something with me, something that's on me. Maybe I die and I come back with what I have on me. I don't like go back and forth and bring cool stuff back. I just happen to have something in my pocket, a knife. It could be something as simple as a knife.
There actually is an anime
a lighter
out there,
whatever.
There actually is an anime out there similar to what you're saying.
Right.
It's called Surviving in a Fantasy World with a Smartphone, and then essentially he somehow connects all these magics to his smartphone. And basically it then becomes basically an app, and he can get a map of the battlefield, tap out targets, and cast fireball, and it hits those targets from his phone.
Well, you're
freaking ridiculous.
I mean, you're kind of describing the premise of Hello from the Magic Tavern, right? The podcast, the Hello from the Magic Tavern. You heard that a few times, didn't you? Okay. Me and Mitch used to listen to it driving to school every morning, and then he got tired of it, and I started listening to it a little bit. But their first season was like 3 years long. So, anyway, I'll listen to it every now and then. But basically the premise is some dude from Chicago fell through a dimensional rift behind a Burger King, at a drive-thru in a Burger King, and landed in the magical land of Foon. And he still had his laptop and all his podcasting equipment in his car, and he was getting enough of a Wi-Fi signal seeping through the dimensional rift from the Burger King that he does this podcast. And his two regular guests, his best friends on the podcast, they're his co-hosts, are a wizard, and I'm not even going to say his name, Usador, the Blue Wizard, and he has like magical land. He's got like a 20-minute name. And then Chunt, who's a shapeshifter, who shapeshifts into whatever he has sex with. And the last thing he had sex with was a badger, so he's a talking badger that's a shapeshifter, but every now and then he has sex with something else and turns into that for an episode or two. He's been an alligator, he's been a baby unicorn, he's been different kind of things. And that's just what they do. And they have his laptop and in this magical land. So, I mean, stuff happens, man. Somebody's already come up with this idea.
I know.
Anyway, so that's all I got. I got nothing else for this question.
Fun fact. This
Oh, that deserves a chicken.
This idea
that always deserves a chicken. Fun facts always deserve chickens.
This idea, this premise of the main character dying in the modern world and somehow being transported to a fantasy world has happened so much in anime. Yeah, they've created their own genre for it called isekai.
Yeah. Someone said one time that there's no more original stories. That there's like, and I don't remember who said it, where it came from, or what the number is, but someone said there's like 7 original stories in all of literature, and everything else is a different riff off of one of those 7 themes. I forgot what. It may not be 7, it may be 5. I can't remember what the number is.
I mean, Dad,
Kurt, our storyteller, may know, but
how many centuries have mankind chronicled and written and done that kind of stuff just for fun?
Yeah.
Eventually, every idea had to have been made, and now we're just in a time of history where everything has been done before.
Yeah.
However,
there's nothing new under the sun.
However, I feel like my story, when it finally gets done, it will stand alone because the ending, I've never seen an ending like this.
Okay. Well, I've come up because I've always aspired to be a writer too. And I don't know that I had the focus to do a novel. It was a big enough deal for me to write a short story to start with. But every novel idea that I came up with, and I started doing the plot for, I would kind of look around and go, "Oh, I saw a movie that had that plot line. Oh, I read a book that had, and I'm like, I don't have any original ideas, so screw it. I'm done. I'm done trying."
I remember back in high school when I had an idea for a story. I was so excited about it, and I told you and Mom about it. That it was basically going to be this story about this kid who was sick as a baby, and then his parents took him to a cave that held a dragon, and the dragon took him in and gave him part of his heart to make him stronger, and the story was going to be called Dragonheart. Little did I know, apparently I watched that movie somehow, however vaguely or offhandedly, I watched it years ago. It was the exact same premise of a sickly kid getting part heart of a dragon, and the movie being called Dragonheart.
There you go. I'm so sorry about the cough, guys. So I got
lozenge.
No, I need something more to drink. I'm out of drink. So, I got nothing else on this question, man. I did what I could. It was a wide open question being thrown at me for the second time, but really for the first time in my head because I didn't remember the first time. So I did what I could with it, man. I rolled with it as best I could. So let's move on. Let's go talk about this zombie. I got a little libations going here. It's just my glass is almost empty, so I'll get some more when the stream's over.
Libations.
So, how about we talk about this? How about we talk about this movie? You want to talk about the movie? Let's talk about the movie. Let's jump in. We absolutely have to. At least listen. At least something happened in this movie, as opposed to last week's movie, The Alchemist Cookbook, where
barely anything happened.
Where nothing happened. Just ask Dennis.
I literally fell asleep during this movie.
At least stuff happened in this movie. So let's talk about this movie. All right, you ready? So let's jump into the next installment of
Roll for Credits. Let's get this over with. As you can tell, I'm joking, Dad.
I know. I gotta put. So we're talking about, as you guys can see on the screen, the movie. I think it was 2009. This movie came out. George Romero's Survival of the Dead. Yes, it's that George Romero that did Night of the Living Dead, and he's that George Romero. Did all the Living Dead movies and all that stuff.
Big, great zombie movie director George Romero, right?
Yeah, and so. When we rolled for this movie last week, we let Dennis roll for this movie, and he pulled up IMDb, and he says, "Guess what the critics' reviews are for this movie?" And it was like what?
20.
No, it was 30 something, right? And then, but the user reviews, which are usually better than critic reviews, was 20. So the viewers of the movie, who are probably zombie movie fans, George Romero fans, hated the movie more than the critics did. It wasn't great. I mean, look. So here's the thing. Here's basically the premise of this movie. The zombie stuff happens. It's like early in the zombie apocalypse. It's like a week into the zombie apocalypse. These army dudes decide to go AWOL and say, we're just going to live on our own. We're going to be like a roving band of bandits and kind of rob people and get what we got to do to survive. And they come up,
modern-day highwaymen, basically.
Yeah. And they come up on this group of dudes that have an armored truck that they've taken, and they've killed a bunch of zombies, and they come up on them. And
did you notice something similar between all those zombies on the pikes?
They were just dead heads on a pike. Why? What?
They were all also African American.
Were all of them African American?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, I didn't notice that, but so they kill these guys because they get in a gunfight, and there's some teenage kid that was with them that just had hitched a ride with them. So he gets in the car with them. They get in the armored truck and say, okay, we gotta just continue to survive. And the kid has seen some video from some dude saying, hey, come to our island off the coast of Delaware where it's safe, and we'll live there as like a safe haven from the zombies. So they decide to go there.
Question.
Yes, they decide to go there. I'm hoping. I know exactly where. I think I know where you're going, and I got the exact same question.
Why were all those guys guys in the video, and then also all the people on that island, freaking Irish, and Scottish, in the middle of Delaware.
It's
in
like,
an
okay,
island in the middle of Delaware.
Yes, I'm sitting there going, okay. They've been living there for generations. They talked about living there for generations. That the two old coots that hated each other. It's like the Hatfield and McCoys in the middle of a zombie. Hatfield and McCoys in the middle of a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
But they've been hating each other since they were kids. They've been on this island since they were kids. They've been on this island for generations, and every last one of them have an Irish accent. I don't mean like generational watered down Irish accent. I'm talking like full on Irish accents. I'm like, you're not in Ireland.
Potatoes.
I mean, it was crazy.
Lucky Charms.
But
like this full on.
You had the Flynns, which was the guy that was with them. The O'Flynn's that was with him, the old guy that was with them through the most of the movie, and then there was the rival, the Muldoons.
Muldoons. For some reason, I'm thinking it was Murdoons.
But the Muldoons were like an Irish cowboy redneck mashup. Because some of them, because they all dressed like cowboys, most of them spoke with an Irish brogue. Some of them spoke like rednecks. I'm like, somebody decide what culture you are. Just pick one. Just
pick one and stick with it. Instead of being a weird kaleidoscope of things.
It was so weird. It was so anyway, so they decide to go to this island, these military guys. They run up on Patrick O'Flynn, whatever his name was, and he's like, I'll sell you a boat to get out there. But then stuff hits the fan.
It'll take everything I have.
So stuff hits the fan. They end up all getting on a ferry together with him. He's the only one left of his crew that are alive from that side of the island, from that side of the shore. He gets on the ferry with him and goes to the island. And it turns out it's all just a ploy to get back to the island because he wants to kill the other dude. Because they hate each other, and it's like a family feud. And there's zombies.
And this guy has the most Irish name I've ever heard. Seamus
Muldoon.
I mean, just think about it.
I couldn't figure that out either. I'm like, I don't understand what's with the whole. I mean, a New England accent could completely get Irish
in Delaware.
I mean, it's closer to being accurate having a New England accent in Delaware than an Irish accent in Delaware.
What's a New England accent?
Well, it's like Boston. Kind of like Boston.
Yeah, Boston baked beans, the Red Sox.
So they go there. They're on the island, and the O'Flynn guy has a daughter. Turns out he has twin daughters. One is turned into a zombie. The other one is not.
Worst ex machina I've ever heard. By the way.
Okay. What do you mean?
Okay. In the beginning of the movie, we saw how the O'Flynn's and going up against against the Muldoons about this whole zombie thing because I mean they were the O'Flynn's wanted to kill the zombies outright because they were a threat.
Right.
The Muldoons kept on saying they're just sick. We need to protect them and hope there's a cure one day. And because of that, a bunch of people die.
True.
And then during all this, we only ever see Patrick's one daughter, Jane. She's on the horse. She's riding around. No mention of a twin daughter at all.
There's got to be a twist. That was the twist.
And then later in the movie when they're all on the island, and they've already seen Zombie Jane somehow still riding the horse. No idea how she was able to stay on there. That makes no sense.
Right.
Anyway, they're riding. One of the dudes gets shot. And then gets taken to a safe place. And then hallucinates, thinking he's seeing the zombie daughter, Zombie Jane. Only to then focus his eyes and see it's actually Jane. It's actually Janet, the twin sister who was estranged from her father and her sister.
Right. So
and it's like, okay, that's the worst ex machina I've ever heard of.
Wow.
That's bull crap. Big keeping pile of bull crap. And I'm a Bulls man. I know bull crap when I see it.
So the thing is, so the Flynn guy wanted to basically just kill all the zombies and just cleanse the island of zombies and stay on the island
to protect them.
Right. And the Muldoon guy wanted to try to train zombies to eat flesh other than humans, so that they could kind of live in peace with each other. And they hated each other, so they kept wanting to kill each other. They didn't agree with each other, yada, yada, yada. And it just basically became a family feud with zombies in the middle. The zombies were almost like,
set dressing in a way.
Well, they were like the MacGuffin, right, to kind of carry the story along. But it was really just that whole family feud kind of thing.
Kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead. Of how The Walking Dead progressed. In the first few seasons, it was about them surviving the zombie apocalypse, and the zombies were an actual threat to be dealt with. But then around season 4, season 5, it then honestly just became about the groups of survivors fighting against each other, and the zombies just basically being there as basically a setting, and not actually being a threat.
They were just a plot mechanic to push the thing along.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
that's why I hate The Walking Dead, because
that's our time limit. So now we're
about surviving.
We never meet our time limit. And we never meet our time limit.
Not crap between frickin' in groups of survivors,
Yeah.
Because you watch for the zombies.
Right. So, the acting was bad. The bonus time. There you go. So the acting was bad. The plot
bonus
was bad.
time.
The plot was bad. It just didn't. I mean, it was kind of like George Romero said, "Hey, I need to make another zombie movie, and I haven't done anything where we try to make them eat something other than humans. So let's try to do that. Let's make that the plot device, right?" And here's something that I've never understood, and maybe somebody who's a zombie movie aficionado that kind of knows the backstory of the whole zombie meta can help me understand.
Or George Romero zombie, or zombie in general?
Just the zombie movies, because in general, zombie movies are kind of like this, and they're differences in the themes. But
what's up?
So you have these undead people. They're dead, but they're not dead. You can chop off their arm. They'll keep walking. You can shoot them in the chest. They'll keep walking. You can, skewer them with a steak. They'll keep walking and trying to eat you. You put a bullet in their brain, they're dead forever. Why just the brain?
Well, the thing about it, you're a psychologist. The brain, the brain kind of controls everything the body does.
I get that.
If that gets damaged, it basically shuts down everything.
But here's my thing, and yes, you're absolutely right. In a living human being, but in an undead person, nothing is really working. It's just kind of being carried on by this undead whatever's going on. So it's kind of controlling it. That doesn't necessarily mean that the seat of control is in the brain. They're just making the body move mindlessly to eat brains, But see, and it used to be that they would eat brains. Now they'll eat anything. So
any living flesh, yeah.
It just, the whole zombie thing is never made real sense to me. Why? Okay, chopping off their head, dismembering them. Okay, I get it, but. In this movie, they chop off heads and they have them on a stake, and they're still alive. But it's not until you put a bullet in the brain. It's not until you put a bullet.
That was confusing to me too.
Yeah, it's like they're on a spike and they're talking or they're moaning, or whatever. You put a bullet in their head. Oh, now they're dead.
But think about it. A character in The Walking Dead actually made a very interesting move with zombies.
I didn't watch Walking Dead. Because I don't like zombies.
There was this woman in one of the early seasons of Walking Dead who carried around a samurai sword. A katana.
Michonne.
Michonne. And she
how I know that I don't know.
To context and just hearing people talk about it.
No, I had a Funko Pop.
Oh yeah. You didn't watch The Walking Dead, but you had a Funko Pop. That makes no sense.
It was gifted to me.
That's like me owning owning a New York Giants jersey.
Well,
you know,
I don't know why you would.
I
own
mean,
a
it
New York
is
Giants jersey anyway, but that's just
exactly.
besides me.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
although I don't know why I own a Seahawks jersey these days either.
Anyway, this
that's my chicken.
This woman,
that's my sports chicken. It was a 4.040. Dun, 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 dun. Very good. How do you know that old theme? How do you know that old theme? You never watch sports ever.
I watched it with you, and that tune has been stuck in my head for the longest time.
Oh, and you would sit there and go, so that's called a punt, right? And I'll go, yeah. They're kicking it. So, I mean, and guys, that wasn't when he was 4 or 5. That was when he was like 20 or 21, just a few years ago before he moved. Okay?
That's because I never understood football. Okay? I never got into it the way you, Mom, and Luke got into it.
You know, I had to one of my
baseball though. I loved baseball.
One of my new nerd shirts. So.
What is that? Lambda?
It's Lambda. It's the nerd fraternity from Revenge of the Nerds.
I've never actually seen that movie.
Oh my gosh, another classic you have not seen. You need to rectify that immediately.
Again, I will play the you card. I watched what you had. If you didn't have it, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, you've been out of my house. You've been out of my house for over a year. You've been an adult for 7 years. Pick your own movies to watch, dude.
Would
Nerd Cred.
I spend my movie on groceries or on movies?
Well, I'd rather you spend your money on groceries. I don't know about
exactly.
spending. You said spending your movie on movies. I don't know what that
means. I would rather I spend my money on movies or groceries.
Well, we can go back and watch the tape, but I'm pretty sure you said if I spend my
no, I said money.
Okay, we'll go back and see. I will confirm.
Anyway, I've been trying to make this point for the longest time about
an argumentative chicken.
Whatever. Golly knows. Essentially, she used her sword to
see. Kurt said it too. You said movies.
Fine, I'm sorry. Shut up now. Let me talk. Dang it.
Thanks, Kurt.
I will reach through this screen and pop you upside the face, Dad. I will.
Oh,
you know I will.
Kurt, you're absolutely right. Revenge of the Nerds could never be made today. I was watching an episode of ER tonight with my wife because my wife's gotten sucked into binging ER again, and there was an African American resident, and they're making him go to Sudan to do some volunteer work for a month, and they keep referring to him, hey, good luck going back to the motherland. And I'm like, oh snap! They could never get away with saying that to someone today.
I mean, Dad, think about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much good stuff that we can.
Is getting censored after the fact. I mean, Dad, there are people who want to remove Aladdin and some of the classic movies from Disney Plus because they're quote unquote racist.
Dude, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Mel Brooks and Blazing Saddles has not been wiped off the face of the earth by this cancel culture yet. I mean, talk about a movie.
I love that movie
that makes fun and riffs on everybody. And that's probably why they haven't really gone after it, because he makes fun of everybody, no matter the color, no matter the sexual orientation. He'll take all of you out, including his own people. The Jewish, the Israelites. He'll do the same thing. He don't care. It was great. So anyway, sorry. That was a theatrical chicken. Well, we're kind of.
Can I please finish my point about the zombies?
We haven't even finished. We haven't even finished talking about the movie yet. Go ahead, finish your story. Oh my gosh,
essentially this woman tamed zombies by cutting off their arms so that they couldn't scratch her, and then also cutting off their lower jaws so they couldn't actually get the force to bite down on them. And basically it rendered them completely docile.
Well, that's inaccurate. You know how I know that's inaccurate?
How?
Because if they fell on her with enough force with that upper set of teeth, they would break the skin. And you know how I know that? Because when you were a year or two old, and we used to have that cargo furniture they used to make, of like that really blocky, really solid Georgia yellow pine furniture with the really solid
Red
frame.
cushions,
huh? They're like really squared off
with the red cushions.
We had the red cushions for the chairs, and then
those.
the sofa couch was the blue cushion. Anyway, one time you were, and we were in Chicago, so you were probably between 1 and 2 years old, and you had just gotten in your first few teeth, and you fell forward and fell down, and the first thing that hit the arm of that chair, the solid Georgia yellow pine wood arm of that couch, was your 2 teeth that you had. And there was a divot, a 2-tooth divot in the wood about that deep, where you pretty much sunk your teeth all the way into the wood. And you didn't lose them. They were your baby teeth. They didn't die. Nothing happened. So if your baby teeth can basically dig into Georgia yellow pine furniture, a zombie's teeth could get into flesh. So I'm sorry, man.
Think about it. Hit him. If a zombie has no means to attack and no means to eat, and they would have no motivation, and they would basically just become drones.
Their whole motivation is to eat. So whether they are successful at it or not, they're still going to try to do it because they're kind of mindless. They're mindless eating machines. They're like a shark. So anyway. All right, so back to the movie.
Anyway, the movie sucks. That's all that needs to be said.
So, the best part of the movie to me was one line in the whole movie that made me laugh. So, man dies, he gets stupid. It just made me laugh. That was the only thing in the movie that I found enjoyable, was that one line. So I had to put it on the marquee. Man dies, he gets stupid. Well, really? His brain stops working. My guess is he's going to be pretty stupid at that point. Yep. So it was, and anyway, it was just, but then there were some of the goose that were in the movie. And there was one that I caught, and I'm like, did I see what I just saw? And I went and looked, and sure enough, it was in IMDb and the trivia and like the goose and stuff. You remember the scene where Cisco jumps out of the armored truck and swims over to the ferry, right? And all the zombies. Okay, dude, and all the the zombies are reaching up from under the water and trying to grab him. You remember all that? Okay, you remember when he grabs one of them, jumps up and grabs at him, and he grabs his hand and bites his finger, and bites part of the finger. That zombie, when he jumps up, he's got goggles on. Because the actor was underwater and needed goggles, so they put goggles. So the zombie jumps up out of the water for a split second. You see this zombie jump up with like swim goggles on. It was the funniest looking thing. So stupid stuff like that. But yeah, it just made no sense. It was like the storyline didn't make any sense. They really didn't resolve anything except pretty much everybody killed everybody except for the kid, the girl, the female soldier, and the main guy. And they got on the boat and left. And that was it. The 2 old dudes ended up getting attacked by zombies and turned into zombies, and they still tried to kill each other as zombies. Like at a duel at the end of the movie. And that was the end of the movie. Was these 2 old crotchety dudes, zombies, pointing guns at each other and just clicking because there's no bullets in their gun and still trying to kill each other. And that was the end of the movie. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. It felt much longer. Because it was just, I almost, and this will probably surprise you, I almost enjoyed last week's movie more than this one. And this is why. This is why. Because last week's was so bad, there was some actual entertainment value in the fact that it was as bad as it was. Right? And having
did we watch the same movie?
And because it was just so bad. I'm not saying I laughed at any of it. I'm just saying it almost became a rite of passage getting through that movie. This one was just boring. This is, at least in this movie, stuff happened because that was Dennis's big thing last week. That it's like, We just watched an hour and 22-minute movie, and nothing happened. And he's absolutely right. Not a single thing happened except watching this dude, drink, kill entire bottles of Gatorade and shove Doritos in his mouth. It's pretty much all we saw. And then him stab a possum puppet.
A possum.
A possum. I'm telling you, it's a possum puppet. So, but there was something about watching that movie, and there was almost more entertainment value in watching that movie and sitting here like this the whole time going, what? What? There was almost more entertainment value in that than watching this movie, because this movie is just kind of like, okay, zombies, bad acting, plot doesn't make sense. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, neither one of them were good. I'm not saying that at all. Neither one of them were good. But there was almost something of an entertainment value of The Alchemist Cookbook compared to this one, simply because nothing happened, and that almost became comical. And the possessed cousin talking gangster as a possessed demon, that was kind of funny, So, anyway. I don't recommend you watch this movie. There were rumors that George Romero wanted to make this kind of like a trilogy, and he had plans to make 2 other movies along this storyline in this movie, but he died. And I would never say thankfully he died, but thankfully he didn't make those other 2 movies. Because this was just not good at all. It just didn't make...
How old was Romero?
Well, I mean, his first movie, The Night of the Living Dead, was 1972, I want to say. So, I mean, he's been around for a while. He's been around. I mean, that was 40-something years ago. And even if he was 20-something when he made that movie, that would have made him at least around 70 or so. I don't know how old he was when he died. But I think he died in 2017, I thought I read. But anyway, so, I mean, I'm not a zombie movie fan. If it's well done, like Train to Busan, love that movie. Love that movie. But most zombie movies...
What about World War Z?
Never. I think I watched part. I don't think I ever watched that one all the way through. I know what I saw was pretty good, but I never watched that one all the way through, just because I'm not a big zombie movie fan. Because most of
World
them are...
War Z zombies and the Train to Busan zombies are actually very similar. In the way they act.
That's what I understood. But most zombie movies are pretty much this quality. They're just not that good. That's why people love Walking Dead so much, because it was supposed to be a pretty good show, but I didn't really want to watch a soap opera that revolved around zombies. That's pretty much what it turned into, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, didn't
exactly. That's what it turned into. Seasons 1 through 4 are good seasons.
Yeah.
Everything after that, it does honestly become a soap opera, but with zombies and instead of STDs, evil twins, and botched reincarnation surgery, ghosts, whatever the craps.
Right.
I don't watch soap operas.
So, I would definitely agree with the viewers of this movie and give it probably a 20 or 2 out of 10, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to rate it.
I would give it a 0 out of 10. I regretted watching this.
Well,
I was so bored during it. I slept through part of it.
I'm never going to give a movie a 0. Because I'm going to at least give them a 1 for the effort. Because they put in some effort.
You're nicer than me.
But yeah. So anyway. So yeah, dude. Not much good to say about Survival of the Dead. Sorry. Just. Oh, there goes. Did you just spill stuff all over your computer?
No. They were empty. I was holding the bottles like this, and this one just kind of slipped out of my hand.
Okay.
But I caught it in time.
Okay, so let's roll for our next movie and get out of here, because we've run really long, and I need another drink, frankly. So.
And I want to laugh some.
So here's the deal. So we usually we roll dice to pick a movie at random. We usually roll to determine the service that we're going to look at. We roll to determine the genre of the movie that we're going to look at, and then we roll 100-sided dice to decide what movie in that genre we're going to pick. So this week, because Connor added this to his list of subscriptions, we added HBO Max. So now it's either going to be Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or HBO Max. So if I roll...
I hope that too, Kurt.
No, we've done. Kurt, you missed it a few episodes ago. We did one of the Pokemon movies, and it was hard to watch. It was all about
of us.
Yes,
but no, Dad.
It was all about friendship.
He's talking about Pokemon the movie, the very first Pokemon movie, with the original voice actor and everything.
Yeah, you go right ahead. But so let me pull up my list here because we have categories. Where is it? Come on, where is it? So while I'm trying to do that, because my phone is not wanting to work right, so we'll roll and we'll figure out where it is. Dadgummit, move Twitch. There we go. Okay, so if we roll a 1 or a 2, then we roll again. If we roll a 19 or 20, then the roller chooses. But if we roll a 3 to 6, it's Amazon. If we roll a 7 to 10, it's a Hulu. If we roll 11 to 14, it's Netflix. And if we roll a 15 to 18, it's HBO Max. So I'm going to roll that. Then we'll roll a 10-sided die to pick the genre. And then my nice 100-sided die to pick what it is. And I have to roll it in my box.
It's not a die. It's freaking golf ball.
It's heavier and bigger than a golf ball. Okay, so I'm going to roll all these, and we're going to see what we got, okay? So, hold on. All right, so I rolled a 16, HBO Max, so it'll be our first HBO Max movie.
Woo!
I rolled a
Please
10.
be anime, please be anime, please be anime.
I rolled a
please
10, which would be suspense.
Dang it.
And then I rolled a 31. So I want to pull up the HBO Max list of suspense movies and pick out the 31st movie in the suspense category, and we're going to go from there. So y'all just hang tight. I'll be right back. Okay, so the 31st movie in the suspense category on HBO Max is the, what year did it come out? The 2004 Ashton Kutcher joint, The Butterfly Effect.
The what?
The Butterfly Effect. And I saw this movie several years ago, probably 2005 or 6 or something. I have no memory of the movie. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember anything about the movie. And it says, the little tagline says, Evan Treborn suffers blackouts during significant events in his life. As he grows up, he finds a way to remember these lost memories and a supernatural way to alter his life by reading his journal. So, I vaguely remember being intrigued by the movie, but I don't remember anything about it. So I'll be watching it fresh, even though I've seen it before. It's been so long ago. And since you told me the Geek Question yesterday, and I had zero memory of it 24 hours later, watching a movie 17 years ago means that I... right. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, I mean, I love Ashton Kutcher. A lot of people don't. They think he's kind of stupid and silly. I like him. I think he's funny. One of my favorite movies that he's in is called, I think it's called Killers, where he's like a hitman and he marries some nerdy lady and then hit people, try to kill him. And anyway, I love that movie. It's one of those guilty pleasure movies. It's kind of stupid, but I watch it anytime it's on. So we're going to watch the movie The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher and who's the lady in it? Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart. Some other people in it. Melora Walters, Eldon Henson. Don't recognize any.
Amy Smart.
I don't recognize any of these names. Just basically Ashton Kutcher.
I am excited for one day when we eventually get HBO Max and anime because HBO Max has access to all of the Studio Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so gonna binge this weekend.
Yeah. So those will be
starting with my absolute favorite, Nazca and the Valley of the Wind. That's my absolute favorite.
I watched that one with you several years ago, and of the anime, and I typically don't like anime because they're super weird, but the Studio Ghibli ones are pretty good. I just haven't watched them in so long because I'm not a big anime fan, so I don't watch them. I watched them when I was with you, when you were here as a kid. So yeah.
Fun fact.
Yes. Okay, that deserves a chicken. I know it does. Every fun fact deserves a chicken.
Okay. Did you know Liam Neeson did a dubbed voice in the movie Ponyo? Liam Neeson played the main bad guy.
What movie did Billy Crystal do a voice in? Because you told me Billy Crystal did a voice in one of the anime movies too.
Real quick, is Billy Crystal the voice actor of Mike Wazowski in Monsters Inc.?
Yes.
He plays Calcifer in Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay, I knew you had mentioned that he'd been in one of them, but I couldn't
remember. The
little
fire demon.
Okay, he's also
he's
also Miracle Max in Princess Bride, right?
And then also, the girl who voices Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, the original voice actress, is from the first movie.
Yeah,
she plays two characters.
Okay.
She plays Chio in the main little girl in Spirited Away.
And
then also plays Ponyo in Ponyo.
Okay, cool. All right.
Oh yeah.
So we're pretty much done. I will say that this is something I meant to say at the beginning. Our theme music is probably going to change at some point soon.
Because we keep on getting copyrighted.
Well, here's the deal. This is what I don't understand, and I know this is a weird chicken, but we've been using this music for a while. I bought the license on pond5.com. Been using it for quite a while. Been uploading our videos to YouTube for quite a while. I kind of got behind and didn't upload the last several episodes. And so I took our VODs from Twitch and uploaded them all to YouTube recently. And like 6 out of 7 got a copyright violation for our theme music. I disputed them and said, hey, I bought the license to use this music from here. I can give you the receipt. I can show you that whole thing. And they went, nope, dispute. Your dispute is denied. It's a copyright violation. So we can't monetize, which we don't do anyway. I just don't like having copyright violations on my account. So I'm like, forget it. And, we had good luck with our podcast logo off of Fiverr. I'm probably going to go to Fiverr and find someone that does podcast music and find somebody to kind of do some stuff for us there. And so eventually our music is going to change simply because then that way I ain't got to worry about YouTube and their stupid rules. So stay tuned for that whenever that is. I have no idea how to tell somebody to write music for us. I do want it to be kind of upbeat and funny, but also kind of nerdy. And I don't know how you can just say, I want something upbeat and nerdy, but kind of cool. And they know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how musicians do that. So anyway, we'll see. But that's all I got. I'm about to go make another drink and go hop on the Xbox and play some Xbox with old dudes, a bunch of old guys gaming, and then we'll see y'all next week. So for folks that are listening to this on the audio side, thanks for listening. If you guys would,
Dad.
Yes,
Dad, Kirk sent you something.
Yep, I saw it. I'll hit him up on Discord. So if you guys are listening to this, if you guys would go to wherever your podcatcher is, wherever you get your podcasts, whatever service, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. It's not that I need the 5-star reviews for my validation, but it just helps people see us more to get more people to listen to us. That's all. And that's the only reason why I'm asking for it. Like I said, I'm not trying to beg for validation. And if you're watching us on Twitch, Kurt, thanks, dude, for hanging out. And Connor's buddies from, I'm assuming, somewhere in the world, your D&D group, wherever they happen to be. Thanks for watching.
Jason's actually in Georgia, believe it or not.
Oh, that's one of your local ones, huh? Okay. So
original local, not modern local.
Right. Gotcha. So, but we'll be back next week. Connor will have some other geek question. I will try to remember what the question is, so I can be more prepared for it. We'll talk about butterfly. We'll talk about butterfly effect. I'll give you more information about Misspelled, and about the charity stream that's coming up. And I am sure we will chase a lot of chickens, and we'll go from there. So that's all I got for tonight. Connor, you got any parting shots or anything?
Tip your waitresses. I don't know.
Okay. That's good. Okay, whatever. So we're done. Y'all have a great week. We'll be back next Friday night at 8
Have a
o'clock.
great weekend.
We'll be back next Friday at 8 o'clock doing the same thing, doing stupid stuff and talking about stupid movies. So until next time, we'll see y'all and see you next time on the Gene Pool Variety Hour. And until next time, I always forget that.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Bye, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.